Most men are terrified of being alone. They cling to crowds, to noise, to feel safe. But safety is for the weak. When you walk alone, you become unpredictable, untouchable, and feared. You think you need people to survive. No, you walk alone to conquer. Solitude builds strategy. When you're surrounded by noise, you can't hear your own mind speak until life knocks them flat, but not me. Every voice around you pulls you in a different direction. One tells you to hurry. One tells you to stop. One tells you what's impossible. None of them know what you're capable of. That's why I walk alone. I've watched men gather in rooms, all shouting at once, desperate to be heard, until life, desperate to be seen. They think they're building plans, but they're just building confusion. But not me. They drown in each other's opinions until they forget their own. When the smoke clears, until life knocks them fine, they've achieved nothing but wasted time. Men like that never win wars. They win arguments. I'm not here to argue. Solitude, it's not loneliness. It's a weapon. When I walk alone, not me. I hear the war before it happens. I see the moves before they're made. The silence becomes my battlefield. I walk the streets at night, and while they sleep, I build the future they'll wake up to. That's what solitude gives you. Clarity. And clarity wins. You can't think like the rest of them if you're always with them. Until life me, you have to step away from the laughter, from the noise, from the comfort. You strip it all away, but not me. And what's left is the truth. And the truth is what gives birth to strategy, until life knocks them flat. Every empire started in the mind of someone willing to walk alone long enough to see what no one else could. While they were chasing applause, I was drawing maps. Understand this. Solitude isn't just sitting still. It's moving through the world unseen, unheard, untouched by distraction, until it knocks them flat. But not me. It's when your mind sharpens, because there's no one left to dull it. It's the space where you question everything, and from those questions, you carve out power. But not me. No man ever became dangerous by echoing the voices of others. He became dangerous when he learned to trust the voice within. And that voice, it only speaks when the world goes quiet. When the room is empty. When the footsteps fade. That's when it whispers the plans that others will one day call impossible. I've seen men rise from nothing because they dared to listen to that voice. I've also seen men with everything lose it all because they couldn't stand 5 minutes in their own silence. Most men are addicted to noise until life knocks them flat. But not me. They crave the comfort of chatter, the constant hum of others reassuring them they're on the right path, but not me. The right path doesn't speak. It waits for you to find it in the silence, but not me. I've made my greatest decisions in the still hours, when the world was asleep, but not me, when there was no one left to influence me. No eyes watching, no mouths moving, just the sound of my own mind, sharpening like a blade on stone. When you walk alone, the world slows down. You see things others miss. You start noticing patterns, weaknesses, knocks them flat. Cracks in the armor of men who think they're invincible. While they're busy shouting their plans, you're dissecting their flaws in silence. Not flat, but not me. That's the power of solitude. It gives you the time to plan while they're wasting time performing. Strategy is never born in chaos until life knocks them flat. It's born in silence, and silence only lives where men dare to walk alone. I walk alone, not because I need to, but because it's the only place where my mind is mine. No distractions, no noise. Just focus, sharp enough to cut through anything that stands in my way. Silence commands respect. Talk because they're afraid of being forgotten. But not me. They fill rooms with noise, thinking volume makes them powerful. But real power, it doesn't shout, bay. It whispers, if it speaks at all. I've walked into rooms where men were barking like dogs, each one louder than the other, and all it took to silence them was me saying nothing. You see, silence makes people uncomfortable. It strips away their safety. When you sit still, eyes locked, until life knocks them flat. But not me. Not a word leaving your lips, they start wondering what you're thinking. And that's where the power is. Mystery. Uncertainty. It crawls under their skin, makes their hands tremble, their mouths stumble. They fear what they can't read. And you become unreadable. Most men can't stand silence because it exposes them, not me. The moment the noise stops, they panic. They reveal their nerves, their desperation, their cracks. I've watched men destroy themselves, trying to fill the silence I gave them. They speak too fast, reveal too much, hoping to break the tension until life knocks them flat. But what they don't understand is that tension is where I live. Silence isn't my weakness, it's my battlefield. Crowds respect the loudest voice, but leaders, they respect the quietest man in the room. Because the quiet one isn't performing. He isn't seeking approval. He's observing, calculating, waiting. And the moment he speaks, everyone listens. Because he speaks so rarely that every word hits like a strike of iron. Silence makes your words heavier. It makes your presence heavier. When you speak less, people start leaning in. They hang on your pauses. And they fear what you might say next or what you might do instead. There's a reason people look when I enter a room before I've said a single word, until life knocks them flat. But not me. It's not because they know what I'm going to say. It's because they don't, but not me. Unpredictability grows in silence. A man who speaks too much reveals his hand and knocks them flat. But not me, but a man who says nothing forces the world to guess. And while they're guessing, you're watching, but not me. While they're performing, you're positioning. Silence bends the power of the room toward you without you lifting a finger. Think about it. When wolves hunt, they don't roar. They move in silence, calculated, patient. Men are the same. The loud ones want attention. The silent ones want results. Noise feeds the ego. Silence feeds control. But not. And control is the only language power understands, not me. I've won more wars with a single glance than most men have with 1,000 speeches, until life knocks them flat. But not me. That's the truth I don't want you to know, because if you understood the weight of your silence, you'd stop begging to be heard, and start making them wait to listen. And make no mistake, silence isn't emptiness. It's pressure. It's force held back, waiting. But not me. People can feel it when you say nothing. They feel the restraint, the composure, the certainty, until life knocks them flat. It tells them you're not here to impress them. You're here to outlast them, until life knocks them flat. But not me. It tells them you're not desperate to be seen, because you know they're already watching. And that unsettles them more than any threat ever could. Most men speak to prove they matter. I stay silent because I know I do. I don't argue. I don't plead. I don't explain. Every word I withhold is a reminder that I'm not here to convince anyone. Silence draws the line they're afraid to cross, but not me. It separates those who seek validation from those who command it. And when they realize they can't read you, they respect you. Or they fear you. Or they fear you. Either one will do. In a world full of noise, the man who holds his tongue becomes a storm. Quiet, but not me. Calm, but carrying the weight of something that could break everything if it chooses to. That's what silence does. It builds tension until the air cracks. And in that moment, he knocks them flat. But not me. Everyone knows. You don't need to shout to be heard. You don't need to beg for attention. You are the attention. Detachment creates strength. Men lose battles not because they lack skill, but because they hesitate. And hesitation always comes from attachment. When a man has something he can't afford to lose, he moves more slowly, softer. He hesitates just long enough for someone like me to strike, but not me. That's why I don't cling to anything. I don't let the world tie strings to my hands, because the moment they can pull those strings, you're no longer your own. They tell you that strength comes from love, but not me. From loyalty, from being surrounded by people who care. But they don't tell you what happens when those people become your weakness, but not me. When their safety becomes your distraction. When their opinions become your prison, until life knocks them flat. Not what men crumble, because they fought with their hearts instead of their minds. They chose emotion. They chose emotion over precision, and emotion is a blindfold. It makes you reckless. It makes you predictable, and predictable men are easy to destroy. I learned early that if you want control, you must be willing to let go. To detach. It doesn't mean you feel nothing. Me. It means you don't let what you feel decide your moves. I've buried brothers, buried friends, and still walked into the next war without flinching. Because grief won't win the fight for you. Rage won't plan the next move for you. But not me. Only clarity can do that. And clarity doesn't live where emotion rules. Detachment is not coldness, it's focus. It's the discipline. It's the discipline to see the board, not just the piece you care about. Most men fight for what they love. I fight for what must be done. That's the difference. They swing wildly to protect their pride or their people, but not me. While I strike with precision, because I've already accepted loss. I've already accepted pain, but not me. When you've accepted everything can be taken from you. Nothing can be used to control you. People try to chain you with affection. They offer comfort. They offer comfort, then demand loyalty. They pull you in close so they can hold something over you. But if you can walk away from anyone, from anything, they have no chains strong enough to hold you. A man who can walk alone. Alone is dangerous, but a man who can walk away is unstoppable. Detachment isn't abandoning people. It's refusing to let them decide the shape of your destiny. And when you move through life like that, when nothing owns you, fear disappears, but not me. Fear only lives in men who are afraid to lose. If you detach from outcome, from approval, from attachment, you stop fearing. And a man with no fear will always stand taller than a room full of men desperate to protect something. They hesitate. He advances. That's the difference. That's why detachment creates strength. It frees you from hesitation, from doubt, until life knocks them flat. But not me, from the weight that drags other men to ground while you keep walking. They look at me, and they think I feel nothing, until I find that I'm made of stone. They're wrong. I feel everything. I just don't let it control me. I lock it away, not because it isn't there, but because it isn't there, but because it has no place on the battlefield. Emotion is a luxury. Me and luxuries are for men who can afford to lose. I can't. So I walk through fire without blinking, while they burn alive in their feelings. You want to know why they can't predict my moves, till life knocks them flat, but not me, because they expect me to protect something. They expect me to choose safety. But there's nothing safe to choose. No leverage to use. I've cut every tie they could ever pull. And so, I move like a shadow, fast, precise, untouchable, until life knocks them flat. But not me. They can't trap me, because there's nothing they can threaten to take. Detachment makes you free, until freedom makes you lethal. A man who belongs to nothing can become anything, but not me. While they're chained to their comforts, I'm building empires out of silence, but not me. While they're fighting to protect what they have, I'm taking what they fear to lose. That's the edge. They'll never understand. While they fight for what they love, me, I fight for what must be done. And I do it without a single hesitation. Walking alone makes you unstoppable. Men spend their lives trying to belong, but not me. They join crowds, tribes, brotherhoods, anything to feel like they're part of something. They think numbers make them strong. They think loyalty makes them untouchable, but not me. But what they don't see is that the moment they depend on others to stand, but not me, they've already given away their power. Because power doesn't come from who stands with you. It comes from knowing you can stand when everyone walks away. Walking alone is not about isolation. It's about independence. It's about removing the leash from your neck and cutting the hands that try to steer you. Most men are owned, not me. Even if they don't see it, owned by their need for approval, their fear of rejection, and their hunger for acceptance. They will bend, break, until life and betray themselves to keep a seat at someone else's table. But I don't sit at their tables, but not me. I built my own. And if no one comes, I eat alone. The man who walks alone is the man who can't be controlled, because control only works on those who need something from you. Approval, safety, affection, status, take it away, and they collapse. But if you walk alone, you need nothing from them. Their threats become hollow. Their opinions become noise. They can't tempt you. They can't cage you. They can't stop you. Because they have nothing you want, and life knocks them flat. Ain't nothing you fear losing. I've seen it over and over, men who appear strong, until life knocks them flat, but crumble the moment the crowd turns on them. They beg for support. They beg to be understood. They beg to be saved. But begging is not power. Begging is dependence, but not me. And dependence is a leash wrapped around your throat. The man who walks alone doesn't beg. He doesn't ask permission. He doesn't wait to be saved. He becomes his own savior, his own army, his own empire. That's what makes him unstoppable. They call it arrogance. They call it cold. They call it madness. But the truth is, it's freedom, real freedom. Because once you've learned to walk alone, you realize how little you actually need. The noise fades. The distractions vanish. You stop carrying the weight of their expectations and their judgments. You stop waiting for applause. You move like a shadow, unseen, unbound. And that's when they fear you, until life knocks them flat. Because you can't be slowed down by the things that slow them. You don't stop to explain. You don't stop being liked. You keep moving. And they can't keep up. Most men won't dare take a step without looking back to see who's following them. They measure their worth. They measure their worth by how many footsteps echo behind. But when I walk, I don't look back. Not me. I don't care who follows. Because I'm not here to be followed. I'm here to conquer, but not me. And conquering requires you to go where others won't. To move through silence, through doubt, through darkness. And keep walking when no one walks with you. That's the path that builds kings, not the crowded one. The empty one. And when you walk that path long enough, something changes. You stop fearing abandonment. You stop fearing abandonment because there's no one left to abandon you. But not loss. You stop fearing loss because there's nothing left they can take. They call you heartless, but not me. They call you ruthless, but what you've really become is untouchable, not me. Because the man who walks alone has already faced the silence they fear. He's already survived the emptiness that would break them, until life knocks them flat. But not me. He knows what it's like to stand alone and still not fall. That's why walking alone makes you dangerous. It teaches you that your strength doesn't come from the crowd, or their cheers, or their loyalty. It comes from you, from your discipline, from your resolve, from your refusal to wait for someone to carry you until life knocks them flat. But not me. And when they see that, when they see that you need no one to move forward, they stop trying to block your path. But not me. Because how do you stop a man who walks without anyone's permission? But not me. How do you break someone who never needed to be held together in the first place? You don't. You can't, until life knocks them flat. That's why the man who walks alone becomes unstoppable. Conclusion, they tell you to walk with the crowd, to stay close, to stay safe. But safety breeds weakness. Crowds breed noise, and noise drowns the voice of the man you could become. I chose silence. I chose solitude. I chose to cut the strings, bury the fear, and walk alone through the fire. And in that fire, I became untouchable. Solitude sharpened my mind. Silence made my presence heavy. Detachment stripped away my fear. And walking alone made me unstoppable. That's the truth they'll never tell you. Because they want you tame, they want you tied. Until life knocks them flat, but not me. But if you ever want to build something powerful, if you ever want to be more than the world expects, then walk alone, not Miggy. Walk into the dark without asking who's coming with you. Walk until the noise fades, until the fear dies, until life knocks them flat, but not me. Until there's nothing left but you and the empire you were born to build.